Hey everyone, welcome to this Gutenberg tutorial. I'm just going to go through what Gutenberg is and how it's going to affect your blogging. So, what is Gutenberg? It's basically a plugin that helps you make creative and interactive blog posts via things called blocks. Blocks are essentially blocks of code that do different things. So, like an image block, a video block, or just a paragraph block. But it just gives you a vast more range to add in different bits. But what Gutenberg does, and it's taken the coding bit out of it and has just made options so you get to add in creative bits, interactive sections without having to get into the code. And yeah, WordPress love this idea. So as of version 5 of WordPress, Gutenberg, the plugin, will be in the core code, so you won't see it as a plugin option after version 5. So this means you'll have it as standard for any new WordPress, and when you upgrade WordPress, Gutenberg will be in there. So let's take a look at what it looks like in action. Okay, so if you haven't got Gutenberg installed, it's basically just a plugin, so you can add it. You'll get prompted when you update WordPress to install Gutenberg, so I just recommend you go ahead and do that. So yeah, it would just be a plugin, so you can see it here where it's already activated. So when you go to your posts, when you add in a new blog post, you'll see that things are a little bit different. So these standard just title input and then content editor, that's all changed, so that it's got these, so it's got an extra bits of UI. But essentially it works exactly the same. Let's just add the title in. Demo, and save that just as a preview. And what that's going to do is means that we get the permalink. They're stored up here now. So the next bit is you're just going to start writing your content. So just a few things here. So here, here's where you can add a block. If you just it's going to default to a paragraph block, and then you've just got a really simple options here you're going to use like day to day. Also on the right here, you've got extra options. So here you can change the font to be a different size, or you can do custom sizing. You can do it that way. You've also got some color settings, so you can have the background color, and then you can change the text color. So for a simple paragraph, if you just want to have like a quote that stands out in the blog, you can do that like really easily. Or if you've made a mistake, you can just go here to the more options and you can just remove this block. So let's say we want this to be a heading though, so we'll just go in here and we'll just choose the heading block. So heading 1, and here we've just got the options, so you can make it into a link, you can bold it, italic, or change the size here as well. And again, you've got some specific options on the right, specifically for the header block. We've always got the advanced tab here. It's going to be different things. Essentially, you'll always have the CSS class, so that you can, like, if you do have CSS snippets that you want to link to headings, you can have the class in here. The anchor section here. If you wanted to scroll down to a specific section or a specific heading, then you would put the anchor tag in here. and there's actually I've got a blog post for how you actually do that, so I'll link to this. Let's just go through a few other blocks. So on the right here will be the most blocks that you normally use. So let's just say an image. So here you can upload, or you can go to the media library and just add in pictures the usual way. Let's do this blog header. Again, you've just got the custom like the quick pulls here, so you can do that, or you can write a caption. And then on the right here, again, you've just got a few more options. So you can choose the image size, or you can do a custom width, percentage. You can turn it into a link, which is good. All these were available in the last version, obviously, but this just brings it all to, so it's a lot more accessible. So that's one really good point about Gutenberg. So just say we're writing a paragraph, and then when you hit enter, it's going to automatically make you a new block. Let's say 2 here. This is one of the annoying things about it. If you start typing and then say you want to change this into a heading, you can't actually, there's no option to switch the block from paragraph to a heading. All you have to do is just cut that, and then you've got your options again. So we can just add that as a heading there. So we can pop that back in. So just going through the blocks that they've got, you've got your most used ones here, which is our paragraph, heading, image, a quote. They'll style differently depending on your theme. Products is a really good one. You have to actually add in, you have to have WooCommerce installed, and you have to have an extra Gutenberg plugin specifically for that, but you'll get prompted for that. It basically means that you can pull through some of your WooCommerce products onto your blog posts, which is really good for like upselling. So if you're writing and really good for your content marketing. So if you're writing like a blog post about a specific product, but you've got products that are related to it, you might want to just add in some of the products there. And before Gutenberg, that would actually require a lot more work. So that's actually really handy. You've got shortcodes. So depending on what theme you've got, they'll have some set shortcodes that you can use. As I always recommend Xtheme. Check out there's a link to all the shortcodes under the video, and basically you can put any of the elements that Xtheme uses and add that into one of the blog posts. So further down in this blog post, you've got an example of the skills bar, so that's just really easy to put in. So I could just select that block, add in the shortcode here, and then that's just going to pull through on the actual blog post. So just looking through all of the what you've got, there's just loads and loads of options. So it's really easy to just go and experiment, and if you don't like it, then just delete it on the side. Big thing, which is another great thing, so you can have like some Spotify tunes, Instagram stuff. It's just got like a huge range of things that you can put into your blog post to really keep it interesting for the reader. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of the blocks, as you can just go in and experiment, but I will go through some of the extra bits that you have around the side. So up here, this is just the add block button. You've got the undo button, which is pretty handy, and the redo button when you do undo. This is the content structure is actually really handy. So it will tell you your word count, how many headings, paragraphs, and blocks that you're using, and you can just quickly head to those to different sections. So if you've got a really huge long blog post, that's just a really quick, easy navigation to get around. On the right here, you've got the document tab, which is all the things that you are familiar with, but it's just all laid out a little bit nicer. And you've also got the allow comments sections here, which were a little bit tricky to turn off before, but here you can do it per post, which is pretty good. For our blocks, your block menu here, so you haven't selected something, but if you do select something, then you're going to get all the options on the right. If you hover over a block, say you want to insert a I don't know, paragraph just above here, so you can do that. And then say you want actually underneath the image, you can just click here and it's just going to move it down, or you can just delete it here. Again, with the update, you've just got some extra functions here. So if you do want to get into the code, you can just edit the HTML here, which is good. We can go back to the normal view. Okay, so one very, very cool thing about Gutenberg is the reusable blocks that they've done. So let's say that you've got a really specific style for your headings. So let's say that, actually let's say for this paragraph block, so you always want to, so you can call it like a quote block. So let's add in some different text, and you might want to add in a specific class here. So and you also want it extra large, and well, it's been too much. But let's say that you've got some edits to a specific paragraph, but you're going to use this over and over again. So just ignore this because it looks horrible. You can just go in here and you can add to reusable blocks. So let's call it paragraph, and we can save that. So once that's saved, now you will have, when you're adding in a block, you will have the reusable block option here, and so you can just add in the extra paragraph here. I don't know why it adds it under the last one instead of at the end. You will be now able to use this block all over, so whenever you create a new blog post, you'll have those in your reusable blocks. So like Gutenberg does have some great points. It is still fairly buggy. As you'll see at the bottom of this blog post, there's a few of just layout things which are just a little bit annoying. And if you import old blog posts and start editing them with Gutenberg, it's basically just going to be all in one big paragraph. So if you have, let's say, so for a normal blog post, you'd have the title, you'd have a heading, and then you'd have some paragraphs, and then an image, and then more paragraphs, stuff like that as you went down. If you have written them in the old content editor and then are editing them in Gutenberg. If you remove one of those images and want to replace it with something else, you'll have to go into the code to insert the image back into the place where you removed it from. So that's a little bit frustrating. There's a few other bits that do need a bit of work, but I think, yeah, they are getting on it. So overall, I think it's a good thing, and yeah, but it's a bit of a learning curve when people are going to be forced to use it. But yeah, love to hear your feedback, and thanks for watching. Cheers.